Alright, so first off, we've got the typical one that starts off every collection, Thomas Gets Tricked. This is the 1993 Strand home video version, the one with the infamous "Look Out for the Train" on the VHS. Some people have often wondered how that happened. I believe it might have happened because they thought they silenced it on the M&E track, but as they were finalizing it, they turned up the volume, and somehow it came through. At least that's how I think it might have happened, but... Then we have this is the 1995 Anchor Bay reprint, the one with the train tracks. This one has the Strand VCI print on it. Then we have, oh, hey, wait a minute, Percy-Fan 1998. In the last video, you had a bunch of tapes that came out between Thomas Gets Tricked and when this one would have come out. Well, very observant of you, dear viewer, but there's a reason for this. And the reason why is because it's actually Thomas Gets Tricked, the 1995 version, again. I bought this because I realized... Oh, hello. I bought this because I realized that the narrow gauge engines got absolutely shafted in the marketing department. I thought that that was a real shame, and so I bought this wanting to correct that, since the 2000s labels were all incorrect. But when I got this, it ends up being Thomas Gets Tricked inside. And then finally we have this. This is the 1999 Beth Allcroft typo version. You saw this in the last one with James Learns a Lesson. However, I since managed been able to sell the cover, but I haven't been able to sell, well, I'm planning on keeping this one. I've been housing it in the Gallons Hold Engine, the incorrect one, and been trying to sell the two 1995 ones since I want to put this one into the regular 1995 reprint that I have. Yeah, funny typo. Here is actual James Learns Lesson, the 1995 Anchor Bay reprint. And this one's a particular treat. Yeah, I've been putting them all into protective cases to keep the cover safe. This is the 1999 Beth Allcroft typo version. Again, Strand VCI prints are on this one. Here's James Learns a Lesson, the 2001 cover with the Thomas and the Magic Railroad pics on it. This one features the correct lower and upper capitalization on the episode titles, which is something that other releases really annoy me with. I remember seeing the DVD for this one in the stores, but I never got it for whatever reason. This is the 2005 one with Thomas's Anthem on it. It was printed, though, in 2004, according to the tape. This ended up being the only tape, aside from logos, with such a major change in content to be re-released, because this was the only one of the 90s tapes without a song to be released on DVD, while VHSs were still used by the TV and film industry to distribute media. The only exception being Help Out, but I think that was before they made music mandatory on every single DVD release, and they just so happened to still be printing tapes a year before it ended. Here's Tenders and Turntables, the 3rd edition, or Tenders and Turntable, as done incorrectly here on the Strand home print. Thomas Comes to Breakfast on a Season 1 tape. That one forever annoys me. Black Strand home label on this one. Here's a newbie to the collection. Here's Thomas Breaks the Rules, the only Strand VCI release that I have. The very original version. And inside is a... I've never seen these spools before, but it results in rewinding tape being a lot faster than the smaller versions, which was pretty cool when I first got it. I realized it could do that. 1995 Anchor Bay reprint of Trust Thomas. 2003 re-release of Trust Thomas in the new Anchor Bay style. This one features the Ghislaine one on the spine, though. That was because these were designed in 2002 before the hit buyout. This one features the incorrect capitalization on the titles, which I'm really annoyed about, though it's only with No Joke for James and The Trouble with Mud. Inside is very interesting. This appears to be the 2003 style ink label, you can tell because of Thomas, but also features Brittle-Cross' first name in all caps, which is very unusual for these 2000s and 2001 tapes. This one sort of seems to be modeled after the 1999 Beth Allcroft typo correction, which some of them were corrected to her correct spelling, but did it in all caps instead of with lowercase lettering. This one is the home video bonus pack I got with Wooden Railway Trevor. Thomas Percy and the Dragon, the original Strand Home release, that weirdly is missing Thomas except for on the spine. Luckily I managed to avoid him somehow. (2003) re-release of Thomas Percy and the Dragon with the new cover. This one, just like Trust Thomas, was also designed in 2002 before the hit buyout, so that's why it features the Ghislaine logo. But this one features the original 2000s style ink label, whereas Trust Thomas seems to be the 2003 style ink label. Also mine still features the original little extra pamphlet. Original release of Daisy. James Goes Buzz Buzz, released by Video Treasures, though it was first designed by Strand Home Video in conjunction with the Brittle-Cross subsidiary, Quality Family Entertainment, or QFE. This one is the Avon Store version. Now, I don't know anything about the Avon Store, but I tried to do research on them, but they seem to be like some sort of British import cosmetics store on the East Coast. They seem to have had their own VHS printing department, which is why their version exists, but I don't really know anything beyond that. It was mostly known for makeup and stuff. Their tape is a very interesting looking one, just all caps. Oh, and before I forget, this one's also a bit weird because Video Treasures did the top flap very incorrectly. Yikes. Percy's Ghostly Trick, the 1995 Anchor Bay re-release. Much better back photo. The original 1994 one, as designed by Strand Home, or at least designed by Video Treasures on behalf of Strand Home, was just wrong episode on it. Here is Rusty to the Rescue, the original Video Treasures version, which weirdly was printed incorrectly, based on the top here. The only one from Video Treasures that was released by them. The previous three, Christmas Party, Ghost Train, and Buzz Buzz, were originally made by Strand Home prior to the Video Treasures buyout. And this ended up being the only release they did before they got turned into Anchor Bay by their owner, Handelman. I think that's like early 1995 text, but I might be incorrect about that. This one was made before the final M&E tracks for Season 4 could be released, which is why episodes like Rusty Helps Peter Sam and Thomas and Stephanie are missing some music cues. First official Anchor Bay release, Thomas and the Special Letter, with a photo from Thomas Meets the Queen. Ah well, it's absolutely my favorite VHS from Thomas and Friends. Just so many good episodes are on this one. I asked in my previous home media video if this was like some sort of unique label, but it turns out in cross-referencing with other people's videos, it just seems to be just the way the master printer was, so I have no idea why it was all boldened when all the rest are unboldened. Just seems to have been the way it was. And here's the 2002 re-release of Thomas and the Special Letter with the new style cover. Real shame that none of the narrow gauge engines got to really appear on here, because their episodes on this one are really good. Still not sure how this one got dirty. Still bothers me to this day. 2002 one is very infamous for just breaking structure. I mean, the episodes went from left to right as opposed to down then right. It was very odd. Here's Thomas and his friends Help Out, the first compilation tape we got here in the US, featuring episodes from the first 11 releases, with the only exception being the swapping of Volume 3 and 7 in order. Now check this out. Now you might be confused by this. In the previous home media video, I thought this was Thomas and Friends Get Along. However, I was thinking to myself that I was having the Mandela effect, and it turns out I was correct. I dropped this tape sometime last year, and when I played it just to make sure it was okay, it turns out that this is a factory error. This is actually Thomas and Friends Help Out all along, which proved to be correct because I did have from memory the episodes in the exact order as it was on that tape, so I don't know why mine got a factory error print. Might have been incorrectly numbered while on the factory line, so I got the wrong ink label. But yeah, as soon as I realized that, I had to get the correct cover for it. And because a later tape of mine would be the original 90s version, I assume that it has to have also been from this particular era. Oh, but hold on, wait. This is actually Thomas and his Friends Help Out. I bought the previous cover with this 2000s ink label inside in order to be able to have the cover, since nobody seems to be selling covers on their own. I bought this thinking that the previous tape was actually Thomas and Friends Get Along, but when I found out, I couldn't. So I'm trying to sell this one on eBay. Please buy it off of me. Original 96 release of The Gallantold Engine, with Thomas annoyingly on the back. My childhood 2001 redesign under the new style. Sadly, no narrow gauge engines on the back. Very, very disappointing. It does weirdly feature a shot from the episode The Gallantold Engine, but weirdly it's of the 3 railway engines for some reason. Don't know why, but that's just how it happened. Very, very strange. But, you know, aside from that, pretty good tape. I mean, great episodes. I'm not a big fan of the Really Useful Engine song, but that's just because of the repetitious lyrics and visuals. New addition to the collection, Thomas Meets the Queen. A very rare release. I got this one secondhand, of course, but it seems to have featured their address, which they covered over with tape. Fair enough. This one got a 2000s ink label, but sadly did not get a new design. Because it's the Queen, I presume that's why Anchor Bay chose to do this in a much larger font size, as well as the royal purple color, which I hope would have been on the redesign had they been able to get to it. Some people have often wondered why that happened. My theory is that Anchor Bay's contract was ended quite suddenly by Hit, so presumably they wanted to get around to doing this one on the DVD, but they didn't get to it because of time. Weirdly, this one is referenced in the limited edition Daisy re-release by Wooden Railway in 2007, so very strange. Yeah, see here, so that way you can tell I'm not lying. Right here on Daisy's little page, they say that she was featured in Thomas Meets the Queen as opposed to her own VHS, but presumably that was because of the whole Rick Sigel cow frustration with the character. Up next is a very proud tape to own. This is the original 98 release of A Big Day for Thomas. I got this for a very, very decent price. I think it was about $16 or something. And I got this when nobody else was paying attention to it, so I scored out very fortunately. And adding on to this one's luck is the 2003 re-release of it. I got this one damaged actually, so I attempted to re-glue it, but unfortunately I botched it up a little bit, and you can tell because this is jutted up slightly. And so this part, luckily the tape still fits, but it is a little bit of an unfortunate error. Racers, Rescues, and Runaways, the original 1999 cover. This is the first ever tape I remember buying. I remember seeing this one at Toys R Us. This side is unfortunately sun-faded, which is very unfortunate. "10 Years of Thomas," the original 1999 cover. You can tell because it has the original Cloud logo. Yeah, my childhood one, which is the damaged one. And then there's this. This is the 10 Years of Thomas tape that came with that cover, which was for my childhood copy. I am trying to sell this one on my eBay. Spills and Chills and Other Thomas Thrills. This one's spine is different from the previous Rescues and Runaways, because Thomas's eyes are actually looking off to the side, which I never noticed until I got this one. This is the original 2000s sticker label version that features the Thomas and the Magic Railroad promo at the start. Makes someone happy. A lot of people don't like this one. I personally do. I don't get the hate somewhat, because Season 5 is so intense that having the last sort of wholly episodic release be a little bit more peaceful in nature is a welcome change. Thomas's Christmas Wonderland with the metallic red front. Says George Carlin, even though Alec Baldwin narrates one episode, but fair enough, I suppose. This is the 2000s blue ink label. The re-release of Sing Along with the fantastic little musical notes and that rather striking photo from Bulldog. Salty Secret. One that came with William Railway Duncan. Percy's Chocolate Crunch. This is the first one with the Hit Entertainment logo, the original one. This was the first release to come out following their buyout of the franchise. Rather striking photo of Gordon here. I also have this, a sealed version, but the seal is rather imperfect. I'm not sure if the camera can pick it up, but it did unfortunately break a little bit before the owner sold it to me. Well, then again, it was in the photo, so I suppose I can't complain. $9.79. Ooh, would this have been worth it? $9.79. Thomas Gets Bumped, new style re-release with the Hit Entertainment logo. Released the same day as a brand new release. Here is James and the Red Balloon. Not one of my favorite VHSs at all. Kind of a fan of Edward the Really Useful Engine. I know a lot of people aren't, but, not the worst. It and World's Strongest Engine are probably the strongest episodes on this otherwise garbage release. Bad Missing Funnel. Bad. Very bad. Thomas's Snowy Surprise, minus the original 2003 release, which you can tell because it was called Thomas's Snowy Surprise instead of It's Only Snow. And then finally, we have this, a sealed version of Percy Saves the Day for $2.99. Like Percy's Chocolate Crunch, this one has a bit of an imperfect seal. Again, not sure if you can really tell here on the camera. This is the Season 7 was the first releases to feature the Anchor Bay logo so prominently on the spine, but I think that was because Hit Entertainment started releasing Season 8 on their own, but they might have given the go-ahead to Angry Bay to finally start putting their logo here instead of theirs. So, yeah. Oh, but wait, we have some UK VHSs now. I don't know why I bought these. I can't play them because of the NTSC style VCRs we have as opposed to PAL, but we do anyway. Here is the famous Chases, Races, and Runaways. Though mine is a bit distinct. Mine is a version that comes with a poster playmat and reusable stickers, which I have to say, I'm not a big fan of the UK labels, but only because the font size is the exact same as well as style, and I'm just not a big fan of that. It just looks weird to me. Here are the stickers, which was featured with the playmat, which I will show in a cutaway. But yeah, normally these stickers sit with the playmat, which is why you can't see the episode descriptions here inside the case like you normally would. But yeah, cool, quirky little release. As a result of that, certainly won't get something creative like that here in the US. The photo just looks amazing. And weirdly, I didn't get this with the intention of having one release after the other, but this was the first UK tape I got, biggest part video ever, which was released chronologically after Chase Races and Runaways, which I didn't realize till after the fact. This one got a weird photo edit, very, very strange. Comes with a poster, which is the pull out of the slip itself. Here you can actually see the information, but like I said, you can pull it out. Alright, now onto the DVDs.
Oi, Thomas, we need to talk.
What about James?
The way we're marketed on home media. Why is it that you're everywhere? I get that the series is named after you, but must you hog all the spotlight? Every time I'm seen on the front, you just have to be on the back. Why? Why do you always have to be around, even when none of the episodes are about you? It's not fair. Well, we were released together to show as poster boys when the first tapes came out in the United States. It's my episode that leads the tape and its name, yet somehow they just had to cram you in with me on the redesign, even though you've already gotten enough attention on both the front and back. It's outrageous. It's unfair. Isn't it bad enough that you already hog all the spines? It's not on, Thomas. Why? Just why?
You're exaggerating, James.
Oh, no, I'm not. I haven't thought about it more clearly. How can I be a member of the cast when I must constantly share the limelight with you when the others don't? It's Thomas and friends. And friends. Yet you insist on being everywhere. James goes buzz buzz, you're nowhere to be seen, and yet you're so important that they took a photograph from an unrelated episode just to plaster you on the back. Thomas, there's more to the series than just you. It's time you butted out of the marketing. It's time I got my due.
Right.
Yikes! Oh.
Alright then, James, let's talk brass tacks. I am everywhere, because that's where I belong. It's not James and friends, it's Thomas and friends. I'm everywhere because I am everywhere. Whereas you...
No, Thomas, no! Help! Go! Help!
Let's be clear, James. The series is named after me. Me! You should be so lucky to be featured on the backs of those VHSs let alone photographed next to yours truly. You should feel infinitely honored. I'm what counts out there, not you. You should be grateful that you're even remembered. That red paint of yours really did you a favor, didn't it? By comparison, my friend Percy, a far more memorable character than you, has a mini arc on his home media covers. He went from so scared and pathetic, screaming at anything like his ghostly trick, to suddenly smiling for races, rescues, and runaways, to the point where he told the ad director that he wasn't afraid of taking the plunge at all. Rejoice, little James, for you have at least two things over Percy. You're lucky to be featured on covers that focus on me. In fact, you're lucky that your best of is just you alone. I'm nowhere to be seen, not even on the spine. Percy wasn't afforded that little courtesy. Ugh, you look unsightly. I'll go get the crane. You stay put while we remake Thomas and the Breakdown Train / Thomas Saves the Day. Yes?
And DVD portion time. Right, this is the big update, so let's go rapid fire. Thomas and the Magic Railroad, everybody's first. Thomas DVD. Everyone knows my thoughts on this. Pretty terrible. Best of Thomas, with the gold outline. Sadly, the only time Thomas Meets the Queen got distributed on DVD. Not the best, but could have done worse for episodes. Make someone happy. This one is pretty unique amongst the Anchor Bay ones because the DVD menu for this one is just the VHS version with the options. Contains all the narration, of course, though. Some people are not the biggest fan of this one, but I actually kind of like it. I think people are too pretentious about it. James's whistle was not bent into the right direction, so it was just accidentally just pointing upwards in this promo shot. Speaking of James, here's Best of James. Sadly, the only time when the character actually gets to have his own advertisement and not have Thomas anywhere, not even on the spine. Cranky Bugs. Last time, in the last video, I actually asked why my slipcover was so damaged, but actually, upon thinking about it, I think it's because I might have been gifted this after it was bought second hand, which explains this damage. Very rough looking. Best of Percy, with a Thomas and the Magic Railroad photo. Interesting how it's Thomas, Percy, then it's Percy and James, so essentially the 3 Pokemon colors as advertised. Because their 3 colors are obviously perfect because they're primary. Spills and Chills and other Thomas thrills. Mine has sadly become damaged, and it's wrecked this pamphlet up a little bit, which I'm really annoyed about, but pamphlet is still in great condition, but just this part jutting up, really annoying. New addition to the collection. I didn't want to get this on DVD originally, but when I saw the design, I thought to myself, why not? Here's Thomas's Snowy Surprise, which has that nice shine on the front. It does not, contrary to my belief before, onto the back. It does not translate onto the back. And neither on the VHS. It's only Snow as the correct title. Mine was bought second hand, so it does not sadly come with the pamphlet. Thomas and his friends get along. Last time this appeared in the VHS portion because I was under a mistake with another VHS, which turns out not to have been this one. The only one to not have the bottom photo on the disc. A very strange anomaly. Steamies vs. Diesels. Originally planned to be released by Anchor Bay, but it ultimately ended up getting distributed by Hit. Not for individual sale, which means I was in a bonus pack with another disc, which I will show soon. New friends for Thomas with the Photoshop error from when they moved Spencer up a bit, so that way he lined up more with Thomas. Sadly, no Michelangelo's credit on this one. Thomas and the jet engine. It's great to be an engine. This must have been the one that came with Steamius vs. Diesel, because it's also got the not for individual sale sign right here. Really not a big fan of hit DVDs, it's just the item number, which is the product, and then just a very basic design. Yeah, they're not really trying. The early years, the complete Series 1 with narration from the original narrator, Sir Ringo Starr, with the UK versions on this, which are much better in my opinion than his US versions. I'm so kind of glad that they decided to pay attention to Sir Ringo here instead of using George Carlin, which I would have expected them to have, but hey, you know what? I'll take the original narrator. Great. Hooray for Thomas, the original Anchor Bay version, still sealed. Do I this one? Actually, a little bit damaged, but still in good condition to seal. But what happened is that I actually bought and opened the version. This is the 2009 Lionsgate reprint. I don't know if these would have come with a pamphlet, but this one certainly doesn't. Thomas's Solar Celebrations, the first of the 60th anniversary celebration. You'll have seen this in the last video. I don't know if anybody would have been screaming this mentally at their screen. But I didn't realize this until I looked at it recently, earlier this year, but mine for some reason is the Canadian version. Now, this is actually the first of 3 Canadian DVDs in my house. One of them makes sense because it was from an Amazon purchase, but I have no idea about this one or the other one. I have no family member who lived in Canada at the time when this would have been a release. So, I don't know, maybe it made its way secondhand. That's how I got this, but can't really say for sure. And also, this is actually not a hit original DVD. This is actually the 20th Century Fox one, as you can see right here on the disc. Very strange, very strange. I have no idea how this happened. Songs from the station. Thin case of Percy Saves the Day, which we now, of course, have as a VHS. Not even an attempt at credit poor Michael Brandon. And this is, of course, the one that came with the metallic wooden railway Percy as part of the 60th celebration of the series. The special calling all engines. With the Lego Duplo advert. As mentioned in the last video, came with bronze diesel, also part of the 60th celebration. Thomas Comes to Breakfast, of course a slightly better cover than the original VHS. Well, I should say the redesigned VHS. The original 98 one looks fine. Love the fact that they put little engines on this. Good song in my opinion. Oh yeah, I turned mine upside down because over the years I kind of noticed that it was folding a bit. I think it's correct. Oh, never mind. So creased a little bit. I was trying to correct that, but I don't think I can. Thomas and the Really Brave Engines, the last Anchor Bay release on VHS, though of course I only have the DVD. With Gordon next to Thomas, something very rare in VHSs, and Donald and Douglas on the cover, which is also a very rare occurrence. New addition to the collection, here is Track Stars. There's a photo, I believe, from like promo of Thomas and the Magic Railroad or something from the classic era, or I could be wrong. You could shoot me for that. This is actually the Lionsgate reprint. I got this from fellow fan Douglas9 and Douglas10 from eBay. Thank you very much, sir. And you can tell like this is a Lionsgate release because it's following on from the 20th Century Fox reprint of this during the Hit era, when Hit stopped doing the DVDs themselves. DVD of the final ever VHS release, Tales from the Tracks. The first one, you can just barely see because it's a white logo, but it's the first one from 20th Century Fox distribution. A recent addition to the collection. This one's very odd, though. Here's Thomas Percy and the Dragon on DVD, but, in case you couldn't tell, this is actually really the slim case version squeezed into a standard black DVD case. I have no idea how this happened, because what's weird is that if you open it up, even though it's a stock standard black disc carrier, it features both the DVD and the pamphlet. I don't know if this seller is just really good at like making copies, but it seems to be authentic because it's got the gloss, it's got the crease and everything. It's actually pretty difficult to put back in. I shouldn't have done that. Okay, there we go. Yeah, slim case, standard black case that you can just buy on the market, but the DVD in good condition. Like, actually, I can show you. In very good condition, so it's not roughed up or anything. And the pamphlet, very strange. On site with Thomas, the slim case one. It was quite lovely to get Jack and Pack on DVD. It was almost lost media, and of course the Winter Rally bonus pack that came with Jack. Come Ride the Rails, with definitely a promo pick from Thomas and the Magic Railroad shoot. 20th Century Fox in a nearly at the bottom of the spine for some reason. That's pretty unusual practice. First blue case of the collection. Thomas's Milkshake Muddle. I'm gonna have to investigate the other DVDs, but when I played this one a few months ago, it just immediately started playing, so there's no menu on it for some reason. Oh, it says widescreen on it. I never noticed that before. Pretty sure in the US though that those were still in like the 4:3 crop, so like why does it say widescreen on it? I have no idea. Percy's Ghostly Trick. Would have been interesting to have seen this cover on a VHS. I wonder if they designed that with that in mind, or it was probably only a DVD thing. It was a useless theory. Thomas and the Special Letter. The last one of this is either this or Ghostly Trick. That's the last one of this old design from Anchor Bay. Unfortunately, they switched over to a new style. Again, second hand, so it did not sadly come with the pamphlet. I just say that that's a very weird aesthetic design. Like, both characters are on this side, and this is all just bare bones except for the logos. Thomas's Trusty Friends from Anchor Bay. James Goes Buzz Buzz, the home video bonus pack version that came with the Honey Car, which has sadly faded over time. But what can you do? Low-res photos, love to see it. Buzz Buzz. The smaller logo, which indicates that's the original Anchor Bay. One of the only good of the new covers. Well, these aren't the worst, but you know, this one's probably the best. First time Anchor Bay caught up with the main series, they have been redistributing the older releases. Here's Thompson Toy Workshop, of course, from Anchor Bay. New addition to the collection, Thomas and the Treasure. There they forgot, unfortunately, the Thomas little pin right here, which is very distracting. New Anchor Bay logo, the new design. Again, secondhand, so it does not come with the pamphlet if it had come with one originally. First he takes the plunge, still factory sealed. This is actually the Lionsgate reprint. In fact, you could tell at the front because of the Ultra Cloud logo. Why is he smiling? I don't know. Maybe he's showing that he has no fear anymore. He's like, I'm not afraid of taking a plunge. Very strange design though. A sealed copy of Mud, Glorious Mud, the Universal reprint version, the only version that you can seem to find on eBay. You can't find, it's very rare that you can find the Anchor Bay version, and I don't think I even saw the Lionsgate version. I also have a second copy of the exact same Universal reprint, except this one is partly damaged, unfortunately, but aside from that, seal is almost perfect, but I think the plastic on the DVD has bubbled up a little bit. The Great Discovery, just the disc, unfortunately, which I will explain a little bit. It is a bit scratched up. Splash, splash, splash. With a slip cover. SD Island Rescue. Also, with a slip cover. Railway Mischief, sealed. This one is also a Universal reprint, not the original Lionsgate. The Thomas Way, sealed. This one actually has, though, its store tag, tape seal on the top. This one is actually a Lionsgate version, so it's the original. Here is Spills and Thrills, Lionsgate original, but it's actually damaged on the case and didn't actually come with the Spills and Thrills DVD. I bought this from a secondhand seller. When I opened it, I discovered, ironically, the Great Discovery inside of it. I was able to get a refund, but if somebody has a spare disc, I'd love to buy it from you, just to have it inside of here. Because it's a bit awkward just having this and not having the disc. And also maybe just get a spare case, because this is in horrible condition, man. Signals crossed, the Universal. Well, I'm pretty sure Universal was already the distributor by then, but if I'm wrong, I'll let you know. Sealed still. Of course, just like last video, here's a day on Audrey's Railway, which I want to highlight, because I think it's a fantastic release. And the Italian Railway, which just recently had the 4th Audrey extravaganza with, as usual, the same amount of lore reveals from the two Audreys. Okay, so welcome to the international DVD portion of this video. This has to be done in post-production because at the time when I was recording this, it was late at night, so I couldn't record any audio. And I would totally do it now, but unfortunately all the DVDs are now spread across storage, and I'm not going to dig them all out again. So first up, we were starting off with Thomas's home country of the UK. First off with the first Season 7 release, Happy Little Helpers. Despite the winter theming on the cover, the only winter-related episode on this 7th series release is Snow Engine. That is one of my favorite episodes though, so I don't mind as much. Available for 99 cents. Geez, when DVDs cost that much. Hey, cool that it came with the pamphlet. That's kind of hard on the second-hand market. Not very common at all. And then next we've got Pulling Together, another 7th series release. This one actually has the Nick Jr. logo on the front. That doesn't seem to be the case for all of the UK's DVDs, just some of them. Fun fact, when both this and Happy Little Helpers arrived from the UK, the DVDs had somehow shook themselves loose from the DVD tray. So they are unfortunately a little bit scratched up, but luckily not too damaged. It's barely visible at all, so thank goodness for small mercies. Then we have this, the Complete Series 4, with the wrong photos on the back. I'm not a fan of the Season 6 photos of the narrow gauge engines. Doesn't come with an insert, but I'm not sure if it did at all in the first place. This is the 2012 edition with the remastered title intro with the Cloud logo.
I'm not the biggest fan of this disc actually because of the fact that Henry and the Elephant is the only episode that plays on the DVD menu, which is very strange. Was Henry and the Elephant Brett Allcroft's favorite episode or something? Because I'm so confused why it was the only one on the DVD menu. Strange. Then here's the complete 6th series. Very fitting photos for once, all from the 6th season, even though I think that's just by complete coincidence, judging by the Series 4 DVD. I got this after Mattel had gone completely haywire with the copyright striking, which is perfectly within their rights, but it did result in all the UK episodes getting taken down, so I got this so that way I could have them. Weirdly, this is a 2012 DVD, but the intro is actually the original version from 2002, the one with the full-on title instead of the cloud logo. I don't know, in 2012 did they print both at the same time? I'm not sure, but it seems to be the case here. Up next are my Japanese DVDs. Now, these I got from an eBay seller who sources these from old rental stores and their warehouses, so a majority of them still actually have their identification numbers on the discs. When these arrived, I got them as just the slips and the DVDs themselves. They didn't come with the original cases. My guess is they did that just so that way they didn't have to pay as much for importing them out. So hey, fair enough. So just so you know, yeah, these are not original, but they are the original slip covers. Here's the first one I have, Calling All Engines, which I did not expect to get, but that was because I bought these in lots, and I was only shown the spine, so I actually couldn't tell what they were, but I was a little surprised when I got this one. But hey, you know, happy to have it all the same. And here's Nice to Meet You, Thomas, essentially a Best of Thomas, but unlike the one here in the United States, this one is just made up of seasons 1 through 2 episodes, which is just excellent in my opinion. That's the definitive Thomas in my opinion. Weirdly, it has Birdie's Chase on it though, and that seems to be a mistake because Thomas is not really involved in that episode, but we'll get to that, my theory on why this has happened, when we get to a later DVD. Then on the DVD here, you can see the rental number that I was talking about at the start. Then next is Anytime with James, essentially just the same as the Best of James here in the States. Fair enough, James is a great character from the Reverend Wilbur Audrey, but he was never really the lead of a lot of stories, so fair enough. Then we have this, Gordon and Henry, the Large Engines. Both Gordon and Henry technically have enough episodes to make their own best of DVDs, but Japan just decided to combine the two of them with their episodes from across the 1st to the 7th season, so hey, fair enough, I'll go with it. Very, very nice inner artwork, I love the look of it. Then next here is Toby and Edward the Little Engines. Not enough episodes from these two to justify their own individual release, so they've displayed it evenly. 4 episodes for Toby, 4 episodes for Edward. Fair enough. Weirdly, a photo from saved from scrap to represent Edward and Gordon. I'm not sure how that happened. Hey, it happened. Kind of ugly photographs of the two characters are on, to be totally honest. Edward's model aged better than Toby's, in my opinion. But, no, hey, fair enough, it's consistency. Then here is Birdie and Harold Fellow Friends, a DVD focused on the two most prominent off-rail characters. That's pretty cool. I've never seen such inventiveness outside of Japan. This is the DVD that I was referring to when I was talking about and Nice to Meet You, Thomas, in terms of the DVD era. I think if they wanted to keep it seasons 1 through 2, I think they intended to put Better Late Than Never on Thomas's DVD, since that is primarily a Thomas episode, and then put Birdie's Chase on this one to have 2 episodes from season 2 about Birdie, but somehow it got mixed up from Sony Creative while they were making the DVD masters. So that's just a theory. I don't know if that's true, but that sort of seems to be the case, and the only explanation for why it ended up the way it did. Then here's the Engine Twins, a DVD about the 2 steam engine twin sets. Because these are unfortunately restored episodes, it does result in the Donald and Douglas episode being the one where you can see the nameplates even though you're not supposed to, as well as the One Good Turn version where Ben doesn't puff entirely onto the screen before it suddenly clips his close-up next to Boko. It's really off-putting, but What can you do, unfortunately? What can you do? So here we have Welcome to Soda Island Tour, a little informational DVD about the locations on the island of Soda in the TV series. It's hosted by Harold using stock footage from the series, and his voice actor basically takes you on a trip along the main line, the branch lines, and the Skarloey Railway, explaining locations and some little trivia about them. And at the end of it features the episode Wrong Road. I'm guessing they chose Wrong Road because of the fact that locations play such an important part in it, but I'm not really sure why. It's not the most detailed DVD, but I like having it. Very cool. Then we have this, Thomas and Friends Christmas, a DVD all about Christmas and winter-based episodes. It has stuff like Snow Engine, Thomas's Christmas Party. Love the inner sleeve artwork. That is so nice looking. It also features like an original song at the end to Thomas footage. It sounds really nice. Well done to the Japanese chorus on that one. Then we have this encyclopedic DVD, the Thomas the Tank Engine Character Encyclopedia. This is the first version, and it covers all sorts of characters. I have yet to view it, so I don't know entirely what's in it, but it seems to be divided into steam engines, large tender engines, road vehicles, and diesel characters, and as well as troublesome trucks. And features the episode Rusty and the Boulder at the end. We have this, Thomas and the Mountain Railway Engines, a DVD all about the narrow gauge engines, all fittingly from Season 4, which is really cool to have. Love that inner sleeve artwork. I like the fact that it's about their side of the island. It shows the map. It's really cool. And we have this special gift of Hero and Thomas, a standard Season 13 DVD. And the usual standard at this point in the series is that each DVD would have only 5 episodes on it, and then the last one would have the remaining 6. Right, next we have here the outstanding performance of Hero and Thomas. And it makes sense that Hero and Thomas are the front billing characters on these Season 13 DVDs. Hero was made, after all, to celebrate Thomas's popularity in Japan. Next we have Keep It Up Thomas, a 60th anniversary DVD, the first of 6. And it perfectly illustrates what it is about. Here on the spine, it's got a nice illustration of Thomas alongside the TV series prop, which is a allusion to the fact that narrator from Japan, Yoko Asagami, who otherwise goes by Ichirusai Harumi, narrates the railway series to high-quality scans of the illustrations before it goes into the adaptation in the series. It's a very nice, wonderful thing to have. Then we've got this, the Thomas Classic Series, where Japan opted to re-release the Classic Series episodes in bundles of 6 surrounding a theme. The first one of those that I've got is this, I'm Busy, Hurry Hurry, a DVD that seems to be all about characters who have to rush to do their work. Jack jumps in, all at sea, characters who are just in a rush. Then we have this, Will Not Stop, a DVD that seems to be about characters having incidents where they just can't seem to stop. Stuff like Percy's Chocolate Crunch, Busy Going Backwards. Yeah, cool. Love it. Then we've got this, a little promotional DVD that Japan made prior to the release of Blue Mountain Mystery. Analyze Mountain Railway and Little Engines, an informational DVD all about the narrow gauge engines, as well as some information about narrow gauge engines and their differences to standard gauge engines. This one features 2 hosts talking about the characters and a particularly notable story that they featured in, or a character arc. So, for example, you'll have Duke being represented in Grand Puff, but then Sir Handel jumps all the way to Season 10 in A Smooth Ride for his portion of the DVD. Here is Let's Compare Together Find Number 1 on Soda Island. This is some sort of strange trivia DVD where it asks you the question and gives you 2 options, but it doesn't actually let you answer it yourself, and it will just tell you the answer straight up. This one's a little weird. It's not featured with the main DVDs for the Japanese releases on the Wikipedia, so I had to actually look this one up by title. So it's possibly some sort of alternate release outside the usual schedule. This one had a little accident inside my old laptop's built-in disc tray where it broke, and this poor disc was flung off into the void. I had to dig it out, and it ended up getting scratched as a result. But it actually survived, and it can still play just fine. Then we've got this, Fun Stories Popped Out from Picture Book. This one's just part of the Thomas Classic series, so it doesn't feature Yoko Asagami's Railway series narration. Hey, I just love that it's all about Railway series adaptations. It's really cool. I just love the fact that they're acknowledging the Railway series so much, even though these are just the adaptations. It's cool that it exists. Then here is a nice little story of Thomas the Tank Engine and Friends. This one's a DVD all about wholesome episodes, essentially ones that have very feel-good endings, stuff such as Train Stops Play, Rusty Saves the Day, and Edward's Brass Band. Not a big fan of owning so many Rusty Saves the Days, but whatever. Then here's the Thomas the Tank Engine new character encyclopedia. This one's updated to feature the various CGI characters such as Luke, Winston, Hero, so on and so forth. It's even updated the promo photos to feature the CGI rendition of the characters instead of their model-era counterparts. And then we've got this unusual one, the last one in the Thomas Classic series. Look Out, A Great Crisis, all about characters getting out of a bad situation. This one's a bit strange for me though. This one was released at the beginning of 2015, but my neighbors, who had been living in Japan for a while, when they moved in 2006, they actually had this DVD. Same photos and everything, same episode lineup, same deleted shot from Oliver Owns Up. I have no idea why this one is from 2015. So is this an official version of a knockoff DVD? Or is there just something here that I'm missing? If anybody knows about this strange anomaly, I would love to know the story behind that, because it's very unusual. I mean, I remember it very clearly from 2006, and yet somehow this is a 2015 DVD. Very strange. But hey, you know what? Glad to have it all the same. And that'll be it for the 2024 update. I'll see you all in the next year in 2025. Alright, cut, and let's see.